Hello there. Welcome back to the Teacher channel. We recently introduced project-based learning. Now we are diving a bit deeper on the topic. Makerspaces are a form of project-based learning. Similar to cooking a good meal, makerspaces use available resources to create something new. While I finish shopping for my makerspace dinner, check out this quick guide to makerspaces for instruction. So let's jump right into makerspaces in education. So we'll have a definition and overview of makerspaces, look at their key traits and classroom examples, look at some benefits for students, educators, as well as schools and districts, and then look at some things to remember as well as additional resources. So what is a makerspace? As we said, it's a form of project-based learning where it supports hands-on and inquiry-driven instruction. It integrates low and high-tech tools depending on the school's available resources and the purpose of the makerspace, and it aligns with college, career, and workforce readiness goals. So why do makerspaces matter? It's a shift from the traditional teacher-led instruction from consumption to creation. So instead of students just receiving information from the teacher and regurgitating it back on a test or assessment, students have a hands-on experience with the information, skills, and knowledge available. It promotes authentic learning experiences. It allows for the engaging, diverse learners through multiple entryways. So whether it's a visual learner, an auditory learner, a kinesthetic learner, all of these learning styles can be addressed in a makerspace setting, and it prepares students for real-world problem solving. So typically in makerspaces, you present students with a real-world problem, provide them with resources to allow them to come up with a solution for that real world problem. As far as instructional alignment, makerspaces can be aligned to pretty much any instructional goal or content area. So you can focus in on STEM or STEAM instruction, engineering and design thinking practices, as well as traditional standard aligned, formative, informative, and performance assessments. So you can align your makerspace with your existing curricular goals and standards without any major issues. So what are some classroom examples? On your low tech side, you have the elementary. You can design simple machines and storytelling projects. So you can do this with digital or manual resources. So you're not limited. So like we talked about before, the possibilities of different makerspaces is infinite. With middle school, maybe you increase the tech level. You may have robotics, coding, and prototype challenges. For high school, maybe this is where you have your high level of tech. Product design, you can focus in on entrepreneurship and engineering. And then lastly, we have cross-curricular. So which opens the window even further, because a ELA makerspace could incorporate aspects of art and science, or math makerspace could include elements of ELA and maybe arts. So a grade band, let's say an elementary grade band, we're third grade team. I teach science, my partner teaches math, and my other colleague teaches ELA, and we decide we're going to come up with a makerspace that has elements of all three. We can create rubrics, we can create separate rubrics, content-based rubrics, we can create cross-curricular rubrics, we can also create assessments, but we're also delineating a specific amount of time in each one of our classes to allow students to work on these projects. So like I said, the possibilities are infinite. So with all that being said, what's the actual impact on student learning? We definitely improve critical thinking and problem solving skills. It fosters collaboration and communication skills. Students are usually working in teams in order to create their makerspace. It doesn't have to be, but usually you're utilizing a collaboration or a team in order to create the makerspace. It definitely encourages creativity, persistence, overcoming those obstacles when they're making their solution. It didn't quite work. What adjustments do we need to make? And ownership of learning. There's nothing like having a finished product and that students can take ownership of. And it definitely supports culturally responsive and inclusive practices. It allows for all students to participate in some capacity. So what are the benefits from educators other than the responsibility or relieving the responsibility of having to entertain or engage students for a full 90 minutes? Now the teacher can relinquish some of that responsibility to the respective teams, Makerspace teams, and allow students to take ownership of their learning. It also supports differentiation and personalized learning. That's always important. It encourages innovation in instructional practices. So as the instructor, now I can think outside of the box. I'm not limited to the prescribed curricula. I've taken those standards from the prescribed curricula and I've presented it in a different manner. It provides opportunities for authentic assessment, so students are not relegated to just tests and regurgitation of information. And it definitely builds the teacher's capacity for facilitation and coaching. So rather than you standing in front as an instructor, standing in front of a class, trying to distribute information, now you've presented this project to them. They're working in their groups. You are circulating around the room to clarify questions, provide, insights, maybe provide additional resources, and help them work through to get to their final solution. Okay. So what are the benefits for schools and districts? It can align with any strategic plan or innovation goals that the school or district may have. We talked about it. College and career and workforce readiness initiatives, it aligns to those. It creates consistent learning experiences across schools, and it enhances community and industry partnerships, because now I may be, as a school or district, going to local community and industry partners saying, hey, we need resources because we're going to create this particular makerspace. Can you provide us with some resources? So you're fostering those partnerships like that, as well as, hey, our kids created solutions that may be of interest to your particular industries. So when considering implementation, these are the things we want to look at. Start with a shared vision and instructional purpose. This is no different than any other lesson plan in the sense of what is it we want students to understand? What skills and knowledge do we want them to demonstrate understanding of? And we start from there. You can begin small and scale strategically. We looked at some of the examples, low tech, all the way through high tech. It can be tangible, manual creation, or it could be digital. So your possibilities are infinite, and you can begin small. It can go as small as popsicle sticks to create log cabins to review, the history of homemaking or what have you. Or it could be as complex as creating a podcast regarding Romeo and Juliet and the key themes that can be extracted from that text. You definitely want to begin with ongoing and provide ongoing professional learning and coaching. This may be new to some of your teachers. Relinquishing and making that shift from teacher-led to student-led may be new to some of your teachers. So you definitely want to provide professional learning and coaching. And when we get to the end, some of those additional resources can help with that. And then you want to establish expectations for safety, equity, and access. Safety being the most prominent. You're dealing with different resources, and depending on the makerspace, you may have electrical components, you may have chemical components. So you want to make sure before implementing, you consider these 4 things and make sure that the project is safe for your students. So how can makerspaces support your instructional goals? Well, you want to look at what resources already exist in your schools, okay? Having students create battle robots like you see in Big Bang Theory, hey, that's great. But if you don't have those resources at your school, you can run into some trouble, right? So you want to look at what resources already exist in your school, what professional learning staff actually needs. Do they understand what makerspaces are and how to facilitate them? And then once you identify your resources and the needs of the staff in order to implement, then you take your next actionable step for implementation. So here's some additional resources. This one in the middle, and these resources are posted under the description of this video, in the description section of this video. In the middle, you have a Makerspace manual, so it gives you ideas and considerations for K through 12. So that's your, smorgasbord of ideas. Then we've broken it down into elementary, middle school, and high school ideas, so you can go to your respective grade bands in order to find other Makerspace ideas. These other resources may be useful for professional development, understanding what Makerspaces are and how to utilize them. Okay, so the key thing is you want to make sure you understand what you're doing, what instructional standards we're focused on, what resources we have in the school, what training staff needs in order to implement it, and then understanding that we can start on a small scale and then scale up as we become more expert in the topic. Thank you. We hope that was helpful. Be on the lookout for other Makerspace examples. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. If you found this video beneficial, feel free to support this channel via PayPal or CashApp. 50 cents, $1, or whatever you like. All support is appreciated. This allows us the means to keep making great content.